celebrate reaching over 10,000 subscribers on the channel, I'm doing a special series of videos called Project 10K. Today, it's time for video number 6, the channel fun fact video. Hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another video, and to another entry in Project 10K. I am so excited to be back at it with more Project 10K for you guys, and I'm especially excited about today's video because today I'm going to be giving you all 100 fun facts about my channel. I'll be going through the channel year by year, giving you guys little bits of trivia, many of which I've never said before on camera. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Fact number 1. My channel was created on August 29th, 2017, with the intention of being about cars, Marvel, Star Wars, and more. Marvel and Star Wars would be dropped only a few weeks into the channel, because I decided I wanted to only focus on Cars content. Fact number 2. The T in T Toy Reviews tie actually stands for tie. You see, when I was creating my channel, I wanted it to be called T Toy Reviews, but then Google asked me to add a last name, so I just wrote tie at the end. I didn't think that the tie part would appear as part of my channel name, but it did, and T Toy Reviews tie was born. It's a pretty clunky name, one I'm not the biggest fan of, but I don't mind, it's iconic in its own right now. Fact number 3, I go by Ty on YouTube because it's a shortening of my real name, Tysonitis. Nah, I'm just kidding, my full name is Tyler. Fact number 4, my first ever video was a review of Bud, who I chose because he was a rare item that I'd recently bought at the time. The way I got him is actually kinda crazy. I was on vacation about a week before I started my channel, and I stopped in a Walmart and they had 6 of him. Yeah, 6. Of a Super Chase. In hindsight, maybe I should have bought more than one. He's a Super Chase and he was already a year old at that point, but I decided to leave the rest for any other people that might find them. Fact number 5. Before I started my channel, I would film videos just for fun. This is something that I'd been doing for years, dating all the way back to 2014, when I filmed several episodes of a Cars series that I called Cars Adventures. In 2017, I would reboot this series with a new set of videos I made for fun called Cars New Adventures, several of which I still have saved to this day. The footage you've been seeing on screen here is from a Cars New Adventures episode, and I've actually released one of them to my channel for an anniversary special once. I'd love to get the rest of the Cars New Adventures episodes I still have out on the channel someday. Of course, when I started my channel, I decided to restart once again with the name Cars Adventures. Fact number 6, one of the final episodes of Cars New Adventures I filmed featured Cruz having a big crash during a race. When I started my channel, I ended up reusing this idea in the first ever season of Cars Adventures. And it ended up being one of the most important plot points in the entire series. It's really the inciting incident for all the chaos that happens after. Fact number 7, in the early days of my channel, I planned a Star Wars series that I would play out with my figures called A Different Galaxy. It would focus on some sort of Star Wars alternate universe where all of the characters would exist at the same time and have an interesting twist on the typical Star Wars story. I filmed a trailer for this, but I never posted it and eventually got rid of the footage, I guess. I haven't seen it in years. Fact number 8. I make a lot of different playlists on my channel. Especially in the early days, nearly every video I made fit into multiple playlists. But probably the funniest one I have is one for Star Wars theory videos. While reviewing a Supreme Leader Snoke Funko Pop in one of the earliest days of my channel, I made a few comments about a fan theory, and so I made a whole playlist in case I ever wanted to talk about more Star Wars theories. Which obviously I never did. I dropped Star Wars videos a week later. But if you guys want to hear why the youngling Anakin killed is actually secretly Therm Scissor Punch, let me know. Fact number 9, one of the first ever series on my channel was called Mistake Monday. A series where every Monday I would post a blooper reel to my channel. This only lasted 2 weeks until I realized that I simply didn't have enough footage or enough bloopers to make a blooper reel every single week. Fact number 10. Alongside the Lemons in the first season of Cars Adventures, you can see the wide load crane from Tokyo Mater. He was actually the villain of the first season of my Cars New Adventures series, and I decided to keep the concept of him being a villain in Cars Adventures here, although I don't think he really did anything beyond this, being in the Lemon Ensemble. Fact number 11. In the very early days of my channel, Barney Stormin was somewhat of a channel mascot, appearing in my first ever background, with this image of him actually being my profile picture for a time, if I remember correctly, and my first ever intro being footage of Barney Stormin flying with my name in the background, supposed to look like he was skywriting my name. Fact number 12. On September 21st of 2017, I made a video going over 5 Cars diecasts that I thought should be released in 2018. None of them were released. They included a pit crew version of the King, Costume Girl Cruise being the only one that came close. She was planned for 2018 but was cancelled, and then Neon Tuners, Radiator Springs 500.5 Townies, and video game cars. Because those are all realistic choices for 2018, right? Fact number 13. The Cars Adventures episode Stunt Tractor was originally planned to be a subplot for the episode before it, the infamous Cars Adventures Season 2 Episode 7. It was decided in editing to cut this plotline out of that episode and make it its own separate one. That's why this episode is such a short one. Fact number 14. On the subject of short episodes, Cars Adventures Season 4 Episode 17, How Lizzie Became a Millionaire, is to this day the shortest Cars Adventures episode ever, at only 1 minute and 18 seconds long. Fact number 15. My reviews of Disney Store Fabulous Lightning McQueen and the Mini Racers Mac trailer were reviewed on the basement floor of my grandparents' house. I had to stay with them after school that day. I've since filmed there several other times. You probably recognize it from some Cars Adventures episodes, or maybe Ty's Cars 4. Fact number 16. Disney Store cars have served a variety of purposes in Cars Adventures over the years, including statues, replacements for Mattel cars that I don't have, and that one weird time that I just swapped out the tuners in the Pizza Planet truck with their Disney Store cars because I wanted to see how it would work. And of course, who can forget Big Dex, a character made out of a Disney Store Dex Dynaco. Fact number 17. For several weeks worth of videos in early 2018, you can see a band-aid on a finger on my left hand. This is there because I accidentally cut my finger while trying to cut off the headset from a Cars 3 Chick Hicks. It worked, now that Chick Hicks doesn't have a headset anymore, but I was in pain for a very long time. Fact number 18. The first time I ever took a break from YouTube was during my school spring break of 2018. And still, to this day, I take my spring break off every year, although for the last few years, I've done T-Tour Reviews Ty guest host week during my spring break. This has allowed me to take a break from my channel while still uploading content and highlighting other members of the community. Fact number 19. The Cars Adventures episode Snot Rod's Day Off was made because I knew Snot Rod was going to be killed off at the end of that season, and I wanted to make sure he had a bit more focus and a bit of an episode to himself where he could just have fun before that dramatic plot twist. Fact number 20. While I wanted to kill off Snot Rod in Cars Adventures to shake up the plot and make a major status quo change, another reason why I did it was because Snot Rod was a very difficult character to perform. Having to break his sentences up with sneezes was honestly pretty difficult and pretty annoying, and I decided to write him out of the series. And while that reasoning is a little silly, I'm honestly really glad that I did that. I think that Snot Rod's death is one of the most defining moments of Cars Adventures, and it led to some of the best stories I think I've ever told in the series. Fact number 21, Cars Adventures Season 12, Episode 11 has a typo in its title that's never been fixed. The episode is supposed to be called Wingo Gets Ambushed, that's what happens in the video, spoiler alert by the way, I guess, but I accidentally called it Wingo Get Ambushed. And just because I've mentioned it now, I'm not going to change the typo and fix it. I think it's too funny, I'm going to keep it as it is. Fact number 22, around this time I was making an absolute ton of customs based on the Cars video games. And while I do sometimes have to go back and give customs a new coat of paint, Candace has been the most troublesome custom in my collection. For whatever reason, her pink paint constantly cracks and makes the character look awful. The real Candace would not approve. Fact number 23, on the subject of customs, you might notice that a lot of my early customs have silver for the whites of their eyes instead of, well, white. I did this because early on I had a lot of problems with my white paint pen. Since it paints in white, it would very often bleed with other colors, and I decided to instead use silver so that I didn't have a problem with this. Nowadays, I do use white instead. I have a much better strategy for painting with the white paint pen. Fact number 24, despite making all these video game themed customs, I actually didn't play any of the Cars video games until June of 2018, a bit more than a month after I made all the customs. I decided that since I was a Cars channel, I should probably experience the Cars video games, and it's a decision I certainly don't regret. Fact number 25, I've built a lot of sets over the years for Cars Adventures out of Lego, but my all-time favorite just has to be the abandoned mine that the tuners used to live in. I honestly regret destroying that, even though I love the storyline where it gets destroyed. Fact number 26. I've filmed a lot of videos in my grandparents' beach house over the years. My family goes there pretty much every summer. Nowadays, when I film there, I film reviews outside on their table. But for the first few years that I went there while I had my channel, I actually filmed reviews inside on this little nightstand table. I did this in both 2018 and 2020. We didn't go there in 2019. Fact number 27, I hit 1,000 subscribers on July 10th of 2018. Fact number 28, I've been numbering all of my haul videos ever since the first episode of Disney Cars Diecast Haul in the summer of 2018. The only exception to this rule are Christmas hauls, birthday hauls, and hauls where I show every item I got that month. Fact number 29, while I've been numbering my hauls since the beginning, my first haul to get a name that wasn't just Disney Cars Diecast Haul or Cars Diecast Haul and Package Unboxing was haul number 8, titled That's Not From Amazon, where I opened up a package containing Mater with all-in-all cans and the Sushi Chefs, which was shipped to me in an Amazon bag despite being from eBay. Since then, it's been a tradition for me to name my hauls after something hinting at the item that I bought or how I bought it, and only a few of them haven't had this. Fact number 30, my fan film Cars McQueen's Team starts with a special T-Toy Reviews Thai Studios logo, which was supposed to play at the start of my Cars fan films, but McQueen's Team ended up being the only one to use it. Fact number 31, since he was the overarching villain of my early fan films, you can actually spot Rod Torque Redline snuck into one frame of the T-Toy Reviews Thai Studios intro. Fact number 32, to help promote my next fan film, Cars Redline, which was the big culmination of the overarching story of my last few fan films, I did a special event on my channel called Redline Week, where I did several videos, including reviews of customs and other special looks, to promote the film. Fact number 33. Around this time, whenever I got a new next-gen diecast, I would quickly introduce it into Cars Adventures. This wasn't the case when I got Eric Breaker and Spiky Phillips. This was because, at the time, there was a big fan debate regarding Spiky and Eric's names, as Mattel had messed up their original 2-pack release and swapped the diecast places, leading to people disagreeing on what character had what name. And while I assumed that Eric was a Synergy racer and Spiky was a Little Torquey Pistons racer, which ended up being right since Mattel simply swapped the diecasts by accident, a lot of people didn't agree with that at the time, and so I didn't want to put them on Cars Adventures until we had a definitive answer regarding the names. Fact number 34. Cars Redline contains two pretty funny continuity errors. In the massive scene where we see a bunch of characters approaching Rod Redline's base in an attempt to free McQueen, you can actually see two copies of Mia and Tia. Additionally, Winford Bradford Rutherford is present, despite the fact that he was killed off in Season 3 of Cars Adventures. Fact number 35. For a very brief time in the fall of 2018, I tried to incorporate scene remakes into my reviews, showing a little remake of a scene where the character appeared. It was an awful idea, I didn't like doing it, and I quickly scrapped it. Fact number 36. The first Cars Adventures episode of 2019, Season 22, Episode 1, New Year, New Mater, was the first ever episode to use the Cars Adventures intro. And it was actually supposed to be the only one. I just wanted an intro for the first episode of the season, but people were so positive about it that I decided to keep it in front of every episode. Fact number 37, not only did this season introduce the Cars Adventures intro, it was also the first season to ever have episode recaps. Starting with episode 2 of the season, the recap for which I'm showing on screen right now. This was something that I did to make the series more accessible to new viewers, so you could jump into any episode and be caught up on what's going on. Fact number 38. See this giant balloon in the thumbnail for 2019's Cars Adventures Valentine's Day special Love Again? Well, I actually got this at school. You see, my high school would give out heart balloons on Valentine's Day. You could pay like $1 to give them to somebody. And my entire Spanish class was gifted them by our teacher that year. So I kind of walked around awkwardly all day holding this balloon, and eventually I used it for the thumbnail here, which gives it a terrible aspect ratio, but I thought it was a good idea at the time. Fact number 39. My review of Marlin Clutches McKay, released on March 23, 2019, was the first ever review on my channel to feature the diecast posed in a specific scene instead of just on my review background. This, of course, is still how I make thumbnails to this day. Fact number 40, Collector's Guide was a short-lived series on my channel in early 2019 where I tried to give new cars collectors advice by breaking down important Cars diecasts they could focus on in their collection and also break down what happened in the Cars diecast line every year. Eventually it became a bit overwhelming for me to make as I got to years where more and more Cars diecasts were made, but although the series ended up being cancelled, it was one of the first steps in inspiring me to make diecast history several years later. Fact number 41. In May of 2019, Steve Herschel made his first appearance in the Cars Adventures episode. And while we have a bunch of established running jokes with Steve Herschel here, in this first appearance, most of the jokes about Steve come from other cars being convinced that he's secretly a vampire. This was based on an inside joke that my friend and I had at the time where we claimed that somebody we knew was a vampire. Fact number 42, the Cars Adventure season released in July of 2019, the Countrywide Dash season, features a running joke where Flo is using the fake name Deborah Jean. This is another joke based on my real life. There was this girl that sat next to me in an art history class in my freshman year of high school who would always tell me these crazy stories about her mom, always referring to her by her full name, Deborah Jean, because she thought the name Deborah Jean was funny for some reason. Fact number 43, at this point in time, Weird Products was fully underway on my channel. And while I talk about how the strange discovery of Lightning McQueen ceiling fans inspired me to make the series in the first episode, another major inspiration was my discovery of this strange McQueen ride-on toy that I found while I was putting together a joke scene in the Cars Adventures April Fool's Day episode that year. Fact number 44, the thumbnail for my Disney Store JP Drive review, the video that gave us the iconic Arboniber line, features JP in front of a silver wall with the Apple logo on it. This is actually just the back of my laptop. Fact number 45, the Cars Adventures Lap 1 finale episode, The Christmas Cup, is one of only 2 episodes of the entire series to have a title in all caps. The other one being the final episode of Lap 2. Yes, that was intentional. Fact number 46. In late 2019, I created a blog to share my collecting journey. CollectingDisneyCars.blogspot.com still exists and hasn't been updated since 2021. I made this blog back in the day because YouTube was about to implement their new COPPA rules at the time, and because of that, I wasn't sure if my videos would still have comments, and I still wanted to be able to communicate with my audience. Additionally, having your channel marked for kids at the time meant that you couldn't have access to your community page, so I had to use the blog to make announcements as well. Luckily, after about a year, I was able to get my comments and posts and all that back, and I stopped using the blog a few months after that. Fact number 47. In my 2020 channel trailer, I announced a series called Boosting the Collection, which never ended up happening. The goal for this series was for me to make an episode every month talking about how my collection was growing and putting a heavy focus on me searching for Cars items online. I didn't end up going through with it, with one of the main reasons being because I don't really order cars online all that often. I only really do it when I find good deals, and I didn't want to box myself in and make myself make a series where I had to spend money that I didn't want to. Oh, and if you're wondering why Boost is on screen here, he was going to be the mascot of the series, because boosting the collection, get it? Fact number 48, my stop motion, The Many Looks of Lightning, released around this time, is probably my favorite stop motion I've ever done on the channel, and I planned on doing a sequel/remake featuring more McQueen paint jobs, or a Many Looks of Mater stop motion to follow it up, but unfortunately I never did these. Fact number 49, my collection video released in May of 2020 was the first time I ever did one where I named off all of my Cars characters instead of simply showing them to music. I was inspired by Thomas Wooden Railway's iconic collection videos, and I think you could hear some of the way he says his collection, like his cadence, in my voice a bit when I filmed it. I did this because I remember watching a lot of collection videos when I was younger where I wasn't 100% sure what all of the items were, especially when people had customs. And with so many customs in my collection, I wanted to make sure that everybody watching the video knew what each car in my collection was supposed to be, so that nobody felt left in the dark. And it's a strategy that I still really like doing for collection videos to this day. I redid it for my 2023 collection video, and I plan to do it for any other ones in the future. Fact number 50. In the summer of 2020, my series Way Back Wednesday would return. But this time, it was actually done as a collaboration with fellow Cars channel Disney Cars Enthusiast. We worked out an idea where he would have a partner series over on his channel every Wednesday called Welcome Wednesday. While I reviewed older releases in Way Back Wednesday, he would review brand new ones for Welcome Wednesday. Fact number 51, the end of Cars Randomness number 9 features one of the longer sketches in the series, a sketch about a world where the racers and pitties have turned on each other, and now the pitties are having a rebellion. This was actually inspired by a sketch that I released a few years earlier in 2018 titled Pitty Rebellion. This is kind of an expansion on that video idea. Fact number 52, at the end of July of 2020, I got my wisdom teeth removed. Since I knew I wouldn't be able to talk for a few days, I made sure to make a big video before I left. That being Weird Products Party Edition. Fact number 53. Cruz's apartment in Cars Adventures is filmed right on the inside of my closet, directly on the other side of the door. While I often reuse locations while filming Cars Adventures, this area has pretty much only ever been used for Cruz's apartment. Fact number 54. In several episodes from around this time, the tuners start planning their dream house. But the dream house wouldn't be completed until 2023, appearing for the first time in full in Lap 3 Season 2. The final version of the house is actually completely based on the drawing they make in the episode House Plan from 2020, with a few small changes like the removal of the pool and glass elevator and the addition of a room for Riplash. Fact number 55. Cars Adventures Lap 2 Season 6 is the only season since Season 1 of the series that Professor Z has played a major role in. You see, a few months into the creation of Cars Adventures, I thought it would be fun to not use a significant Cars character and basically save it for a rainy day. I had that character be Professor Z, so we have no idea where Professor Z is in Cars Adventures, and we still don't know. This season, Lap 2 Season 6, is the only season that he's ever done anything in, and it isn't canon. It's a season where Lightning and Mater write a zombie apocalypse story, and each episode is focused on their story. Fact number 56, the review to Save the Universe is, I believe to this day, the only time Creepy Santa has shown up in a video of mine that wasn't 25 Days of Suggestions or a holiday special. Fact number 57, in November of 2020, I did a special event on my channel called New Video November. At the time, I was really disappointed because I was mainly just making Cars Adventures and reviews, and I wanted more balance of other types of content on my channel. So, for the month of November, I took a month off from Cars Adventures, mainly took the month off from reviews with a few exceptions, and primarily focused on diversifying my content, bringing back old series and introducing new ones, and I'm really happy that I did this because it taught me how to balance doing my regular content with additional series, and it's really what brought my channel to the place where it is today in terms of what I make. Fact number 58. The teaser trailer for Ties Cars 4 first released as part of my 2020 Cars Diecast Awards on March 28th of 2021. The following day, I would release the trailer on its own on the channel with some extended bonus footage. Fact number 59, the King's Lightning Cup design actually changed during the development of Ties Cars 4. going from blue and gold to black and gold with some blue accents. You could actually see the original King design in the first trailer, but starting with the second trailer, his design has been updated. But this wasn't the only thing to change from the trailers of Ties Cars 4. Fact number 60, early trailers for Ties Cars 4 call the character Kara Crashwell Kara Crashway instead. This would eventually be changed, and honestly, I like Kara Crashwell much better. I'm glad I changed it. Fact number 61, the second episode of Have You Heard Of, discussing the Cars 3 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 crossover ad, introduced a new intro to my channel. This was because, while editing, my editing software crashed and I lost everything I was working on. I lost my intro, and I lost all of the content of the Guardians of the Galaxy video, which I had to fully re-record. Instead of just screen recording my previous intro, I decided to take this as an opportunity to make a brand new one, and thus my next intro was born. Fact number 62. At one point in Ties Cars 4, there's a voice cameo from someone who yells at Chick Hicks to stop saying Kachiga. This is a voice cameo from a real-life friend of mine that you now all know as Pikmin Purple, the friend that I made Christmas Chaos with in 2024. We thought it would be funny if a real-life friend of mine had a cameo in Cars 4, and he agreed to do it, but at the time he asked to go uncredited. But now you know that's him. Fact number 63, Ties Cars 4 is full of an absolute ton of Easter eggs and references, both to my channel and the Cars series as a whole. One of these Easter eggs is the iconic Pixar reference of Todd the Pizza Planet truck. That's right, Todd has a cameo in Ties Cars 4, and I think I've only ever seen one person find it. Can you? Fact number 64, while filming Ties Cars 4, I accidentally dropped my phone onto a concrete floor while it was out of its case, and the screen completely shattered. Luckily, I was able to fix it that night. We were able to book an appointment with the Apple Store pretty quickly and get that all patched up, but that was a disaster. Fact number 65, in the season of Cars Adventures where they go to the real world and are stuck inside my house, the basement is actually not my house. It's my grandparents' house, where I filmed most of Ties Cars 4. I chose to film their basement instead of mine because they have a much nicer finished basement, and also it just has much more space for me to film. So I guess in the Cars Adventures universe, in the Cars Adventures universe's real world, my house has a completely different basement. Fact number 66, in the Calling Mater at 3 a.m. parody video, the way we pulled off the phone call was I simply had my sister call me on the phone, and I replaced her contact information with that of Tow Mater, who proceeded to chase me through the house. This is one of my favorite videos I've ever done.
Dadgum!
Fact number 67, the Bad Diecast's music video from the end of Errors and Inconsistencies number 10 is actually an almost shot-for-shot remake of the original Bad Romance music video. It was also easily the most difficult thing I've ever had to film because my face was completely covered by a mask I couldn't see out of, and I had to make sure that everything was filming correctly, and I was recreating a music video shot for shot and trying to do all of the correct same actions and everything in time. This took me like a week. Fact number 68, the Cars Adventures episode Loyalty 101 was made completely on a live stream. This was a special event I did where I had the audience come up with ideas for the story as it went along, even the title. They came up with everything, and I edited everything we filmed on stream together into one episode, and it's a pretty funny one. Fact number 69, my first Cars Iceberg video was released on February 6th of 2022, and it is still, to this day, the most viewed video on my channel of all time. It was also my first ever video to hit 100,000 views. Currently, at the time of recording this, it has 285,000. Thanks, guys. Fact number 70, the 2022 Cars Adventures Valentine's Day special for You I Would, which is Lap 2 Season 14 Episode 7, is my all-time favorite episode of Cars Adventures. Whenever somebody asks me what my favorite episode of the series is, this is always the one I answer with. I genuinely think it is the funniest episode I've ever done and one of the funniest videos on my channel of all time. As much as I love the intertwined plot lines I've made for Cars Adventures over the years, this one has to be my favorite because I just think it's so funny with all the jokes and gags in it. Fact number 71. In my 2022 April Fool's video, I claimed that my favorite songs of all time are Judas by Lady Gaga and The Party Starts Now from Club Penguin. These are both inside jokes. When I was a kid in summer camp, a friend of mine was asked by one of the counselors what his favorite song was, and my friend answered, The Party Starts Now from Club Penguin. That always stood out to me. I just thought it was funny that he was asked what his favorite song was, and he said a song from Club Penguin, but honestly, that song goes pretty hard, so more power to him. Judas, meanwhile, is actually just one of my favorite songs. It goes so hard. Fact number 72, for my birthday in 2022, one of the cars my parents got me was Carbon Racer's Max Schnell. My mom would later reveal to me that when she ordered Carbon Max Schnell, she was accidentally sent a large-scale plastic Max Schnell instead, the Power Turners Max. This issue would later be resolved, and she was able to get me the correct Carbon Racers Max in time for my birthday, but she was also allowed to keep the Power Turners Max Schnell, which she eventually gave to me just kinda as a joke, and I reviewed it in October of 2022. Fact number 73. Cars Adventures Lap 2 Season 15 was originally planned to be a Cars Adventures movie. But the plans for this fell through because I decided I wanted the next Cars Adventures movie to be a bit more lighthearted instead of the darker tone of this season. So I took the concepts for the movie and turned them into this season, which features a shorter episode count but with longer episodes, allowing the season to be more of a special event that tells a big story. Fact number 74. I originally announced that I'd be doing a Q&A video to celebrate reaching 5,000 subscribers, but the plans for this fell through, meaning that to this day, the only 5,000 subscriber special on the channel is a video where I play through the entirety of I'm Han Solo from Kinect Star Wars. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. That's the greatest video in the history of the internet. Fight me. What are you gonna say is better, huh? Me at the zoo? Huh? A music video for Never Gonna Give You Up? That video where the guy gets beaten up on a railroad track by the guy in a Thomas costume? No, wrong. Mine is better. Fact number 75, my 2022 Petrov Trunkov review might just have the strangest location for a thumbnail I've ever done. This picture was taken at the top of my shower. I thought it had the right sort of industrial look for a lemon thumbnail, and Petrov is small enough to fit there, but it certainly is a strange one in hindsight. I've never done another review thumbnail up here. Fact number 76. The first piece of Cars on the Road merchandise I found was the Lightning McQueen and Guido Color Changers 2-pack, which I bought and reviewed on the channel on August 4th of 2022. Fact number 77. My review of the Cars on the Road Showtime Story Pack was the first video I posted after starting college. And this week, I'm finishing my junior year of college. Guys, where does the time go? Fact number 78. The 2022 Headlight Zone finale episode, Sterling Gets Fired, was originally supposed to end with a plot twist that Sterling was secretly K-Pillar Derev, the circus ringmaster from Cars on the Road, referencing the ridiculous theory that was circulating at the time that the two of them were the same character. I wasn't able to do this in time though because I simply couldn't find K's diecast in time to make the video, so I replaced it with Sterling being replaced by another Sterling diecast, and what is, in my opinion, one of the funniest Headlight Zone episodes out there. Fact number 79. The Cars Adventures Holiday Shorts episode, Lightning Gets Kidnapped, features Lightning getting kidnapped by obsessed fan Larry Camper. This is a reference to a previous Cars Adventures episode from 2019, where Larry Camper was revealed to be an absolutely obsessive Lightning McQueen fan, hoarding merchandise of him. Fact number 80. 2023 would see the first ever guest host week on my channel, where I take a week off and have other Cars channels make their own special videos on my channel in hopes of promoting their own content. Fact number 81, the concept of guest host week was actually inspired by something that I did right after Tyus Cars 4 released back in 2021. After Tyus Cars 4 came out, I took off from my channel for a day, and Robin Tailsfighter uploaded 2 of his own videos to my channel, kinda temporarily taking it over in my absence. This would inspire me to make Guest Host Week, and I'm so glad I did. It's one of my favorite things to do every year. Fact number 82. In April of 2023, I plan to make a movie based on Cars Adventures, the Cars Adventures parody series that I do for April Fool's Day. While the film ended up being scrapped, I ended up using several of the plot points, jokes, and gags that I made for it in the 4th Cars Adventures episode in 2024. Specifically, the whole prison plotline and several of the jokes from that were originally made for the movie. Fact number 83, my Batman parody series Batcar was actually also inspired by the canceled Cars Adventures movie, which was going to feature a scene where Lightning and Mater have to team up with a Batman action figure. I thought it was so funny that after I scrapped the movie, I decided to make a Cars Batman parody in full. Fact number 84, Batcar includes an absolute ton of DC references and Batman in-jokes and other things like that. There are so many little jokes and references and dialogue, and of course every episode so far has been a parody of a Batman movie. But one of my favorite in-jokes has to be from the episode Batcar and Revan, where I parody not only that movie's infamous Bat credit card scene, but also the iconic Nostalgia Critic meme that came from it. Fact number 85. When I released it in the summer of 2023, my Disneyland vlog was my all-time favorite video I'd ever made. I've been vlogging my Disneyland and Disney World vacations since before I even had a YouTube channel. It was something that I just did for fun back when I was a kid, and so being able to share them on the internet is something I absolutely love to do. I'm actually currently working on an even bigger Disney vlog for the vacation I took to Disney World earlier this year in 2025. I went back to Disney World for a weekend to go on the Muppet ride one last time before it closes, and I filmed a massive vlog. It's currently sitting at over 4.5 hours, and I'll be releasing it on my other channel, Muptown Funk, very soon. So make sure to subscribe to that channel if you're interested, so you don't miss this massive vlog. Speaking of Muptown Funk, fact number 86, although I was planning it for quite a while, I actually made my other channel, Muptown Funk, during a live stream here on the T-Tour Reviews Thai channel. I didn't tell anybody at the time, but I secretly put it all together while I was talking with Purple Toad on a call. Fact number 87. I spontaneously had the idea for the Cars Adventures Carbie movie episode while I was on my way to the eye doctor. In order to get the video out in time, I called my sister on the phone while I was going there, and I asked her if she could paint a Ken and Barbie mini custom for me, which she proceeded to do. So those great Ken and Barbie customs were actually done by my sister. Fact number 88, originally in Weird Products Party Edition Volume 2, I planned on doing a segment where I fill out the party awards at the end of the Cars Party Planning book, but I never ended up doing it, which is a shame. I think it would have been really funny. Fact number 89, while I think I'm usually pretty good with names and remembering the names of fictional characters, I constantly get Kevin Shiftright and Kevin Racing Tire confused. It's because Kevin Shiftright races for Clutch Aid, but the other Kevin races for Shifty Drug, so I always think Kevin Shiftright is the one that races for Shifty Drug. Unfortunately, when Kevin Racing Tire played a major role in Cars Adventures Lap 3 Season 3, I did make this mistake at least once. I think I did it in the season premiere. I gave him the wrong name during a news broadcast. That's a little awkward. Fact number 90, the elf car Clutch Kringle has a secret cameo in every single episode of Cars Adventures Lap 3 Season 3. He's hidden somewhere in every single one. Fact number 91, Cars Diecast History is a series I've been trying to get off the ground for several years before I finally started it in 2024. I really couldn't figure out if I wanted to go over the Cars Diecast line year by year or character by character. Eventually I decided on character by character, and I think that was certainly the best choice. Fact number 92. In the spring of 2024, I made every single car episodes pretty much weekly and uploaded them around the same time every Monday. You see, here's a secret. I was in an insanely boring marketing class that semester, and I got so bored that I straight up just started making every single car episodes in the back of my class. I've usually been a very, very good student, but something about that class, guys, was so insanely boring, I was able to edit together full episodes of every single car and still pass. Stay in school and don't do what I did. Fact number 93. I filmed Cars Ignite 95's 2024 birthday request, a review of Protectors of Radiator Springs Jackson Storm, during a power outage using a flashlight as my only light source. I was concerned that due to the power outage, I wouldn't be able to upload the video in time for his birthday, but luckily the lights went back on about an hour later. Fact number 94. I made the video every Disney Cars diecast that should be made from the first movie in only one day. I knew that I wanted to make a special video for the 18th anniversary of Cars, but the day completely snuck up on me, so I spent 5 hours straight on June 9th of 2024 putting together this video, and honestly, I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I can't wait to do future episodes on Cars 2 and Cars 3. Fact number 95, my video 10 Disney Cars diecasts that fell just short of greatness was the last video I filmed on my iPhone 7 that I'd been using since 2018. My phone crashed and stopped working like 10 minutes after I finished filming. Luckily, I was able to save the footage in time. I now use an iPhone 14 that, luckily enough, has all of my old content backed up onto it. Fact number 96. I originally planned to repaint the spare Made in China Dragon Lightning McQueen that Robin Tailspider sent me this year and make it into one of the several cars in Yojimbo's gang in Cars Adventures, but I ended up liking this McQueen so much and it's different enough from its Thailand variant that I decided to keep it. Fact number 97. If you've seen Cars Christmas Chaos, I'm sure you remember the part where Mater swears and it's bleeped out. For the filming of that scene, my friend Pikmin Purple, who voiced Mater, actually did swear, and to this day I still have the footage on my laptop of the original uncensored version, which I obviously can't release. But I do have it, it's still out there, and I'm not deleting it anytime soon. It's pretty funny. Fact number 98. One of my favorite videos I've done so far in 2025 is Piston Cup Situation is Crazy, a parody of Moist Critical and YouTuber drama as a whole. And as much as I love that video, there is one thing that I didn't realize while editing it. I filmed this video up against my wall, which is blue, using it as a blue screen, and then I edited in an image of the background from an actual Moist Critical video. But what I didn't realize is that Antonio Veloce Excelente, who I dressed up as Charlie for the video, has blue eyes, and as such, at several points you can see the background kind of phase through his eyes since my computer registered it as part of the blue screen, because, you know, also blue. I gotta fix that when I do a sequel to that video. Fact number 99. Several parts of this video were edited by Aquamarina, who constantly tries to sneak anime references into my videos. This, Marina, is your chance. You can do it right here, right now. I'm giving you a free space. Go right ahead. And finally, fact number 100. I started my channel on August 29th of 2017. Since then, I've released over 4,000 videos, gained over 11,000 subscribers, made videos I love to make, made a lot of friends, and honestly, for this last fun fact, I just want to say, I'm so glad I decided to start this channel. It's changed my life for the better, forever, and I just want to say thank you to all of you. I'm so happy this is something I do, and something that you guys always return to watch. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something about the channel. A lot of stuff here that I've never revealed before. It was really fun to go through all these things. Huge shout out to Aquamarina for helping me edit. Thank you all so much for watching, and tune in next time for Project 10K, where I have a very excited video coming up. Next time, it's going to be the Cars collab movie, where myself and several other Cars YouTubers each made 10 minutes of a movie, only having seen the previous 10 minutes. It is absolute insanity, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Bye now.